says, okay, we'll accept a little bit of warmth, more warmth, and a little bit more uncertainty in our weather, which means, you see these flood events and more intense hurricanes. That's going to be kind of normal. I don't know if you saw that, but I'm going to ask the question before I show you. What do you think are reasonable approaches to managing carbon dioxide on the basis?
Electronic cars.
Okay, so electric cars or just electronic?
Electric.
Electric. We all pretty much have electronic cars now, unless you're driving an old clunker. No, I'm going to write electric cars.
Oh, sure.
What else have you got? We think would make a big difference. Let me ask you a question about that. Why? What's the benefit? What's the problem with commercial fertilizers? Not necessarily the fertilizer. No.
Oh, when it rains, it like washes away the streams and ponds.
Yes, that's the part where you be able to connect them to that. Yeah, one of the problems with fertilizer is the rate at which we apply it. Even the rates that are prescribed are too much. And you have a substantial amount of runoff, even from most fields that use it. The reason a lot of ag fields have that is because they found that plants can't efficiently take up all of it, so they oversupply it. They try to do it at an amount where the plant can maximize the uptake without having runoff. But even at that rate, it's still more than the plant can use, and some of it turns off the water. So we've gotten better at that. I was thinking you were maybe going to say something about how the fertilizers are manufactured. And pesticides. Some of those use oil in their manufacturing process. Crude oil. So electric cars, commercial fertilizer alternative, what else here?
Is there like any way we could possibly use LP as a replacement for oil?
How about I go with a bigger term called biofuels? What other strategies could be out there that you can think of right now? Solar, wind.
Oh, I knew it.
I'm going to put that up there. Who said that? Destiny, why do you say natural? Why? It isn't? Well, you were telling me. Come on. I'm going to put it up there for a reason. And this is more than we need right now from an information standpoint for success, but since it's brought up, it's definitely. You ever heard of a bridge fuel? Right?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about nuclear energy?
What do I think about it? You can have it.
What?
I like the power that comes from it from an efficiency standpoint, safety standpoint. Man, it's like trying to hold a firecracker with a fuse lit. You know, sooner or later, something's gonna happen. And it has happened. Chernobyl, we almost had a Chernobyl here in the United States. You're, very few of you are old enough to probably remember, maybe you've heard of it. 3 Mile Island. It was all, we almost had a Chernobyl, and it was over a faulty valve. The government spent $1 million for toilet seats and hammers, but they won't spend money for proper valves. They learned a lesson from that operation. Like Fukushima, little earthquake, that has irradiated the ocean in the vicinity of that plant. That land's uninhabitable. The food chain now has radioactive material working through the food chain, which is undoubtedly making it into the fish supply, which is probably making it into the U.S. Look at that. It's awesome. I guess I'm doing my quote. It's awesome from an efficiency standpoint, cost per dollar, but we have harms. And there's too many things to go with. Natural gas. Back on track with this one. Bridge fuel. You ever heard of that?
Ridgefield?
Bridge fuel. Natural gas is considered a bridge fuel. And a bridge fuel is an alternative that is more efficient than the other options. So natural gas is considered a bridge fuel to burning coal. Because the waste products from burning natural gas are much less toxic than coal and problematic to the atmosphere, but they're still waste products. The harvest rate, the efficiency of harvest of the natural gas is probably on par with coal. Maybe close. So in essence, natural gas compared to coal is a better, but it's still free. So let's get any others? Okay. Which of these do you think is the most effective? You had to pick one. This one gives you the biggest bang for the buck? You can offer something else? I'm looking at you.
Oh, no, I was gonna say biofuels.
Ooh. Okay. So where are we going to make the biggest impact if we're going to manage global warming? Where should we start on the globe?
Cars?
No, I mean not with the strategy. Location. Where should we begin?
The ocean.
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt, right now China is actually surpassing the U.S. in carbon dioxide output. Well, that's not good. But longevity and per person, we're kicking everyone's butt. So we put out more of it over time, and per person, we are far more intensive. So we could actually start here and have a pretty notable impact globally. Biofuels are they're not quite like a nuclear fuel in my book, but they're not awesome for a number of reasons. Biodiesel. If you've ever read up on biodiesel or made biodiesel, it works for a while. You take vegetable matter and you process it. Part of it's like making whiskey for a little while, believe it or not. But you end up with, you want an oily-based product, and you have some waste. The waste you have from biofuels, if you're trying to home cook your own biofuels, it's really toxic. And now you're going to have a toxic waste disposal. Find an improved landfill. Bet you didn't see that coming when you're saving all that money. The only thing that has been reasonably accessible is taking kitchen oil and burning it in cars and then selling it French fry going down the road. You have a little diesel conversion kit. But to manufacture biodiesel yourself, and it's not French white oil is not necessarily biodiesel, but it's a burning an oil in a diesel machine. You can do that. Some diesel machines will allow you to do it. The newer diesel engines are really finicky about the type of quality of it. And usually when you do this oil French oil converter, you need an older diesel engine and have strict emission standards on it. Maybe it. But biofuel has a lot of waste to it. It's not that efficient in terms of you burn up a lot of energy making fuel to save you money. I think it saves money. It's not necessarily saving the environment a whole lot. So this is what's the year in this? It's just a couple years ago. This is from a magazine article I pulled out. I know it's in 1998, but it's not that old. This is maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And these were policies that have been enacted to improve climate change. Anybody know what the Montreal Protocol is? You're gonna have to know that one. I'll tell you what it is now, and we're gonna talk about more air quality. Chlorinated fluorocarbons
pretty sure I wrote that.
have been basically regulated on a global basis.
Okay,
It's the Montreal Protocol of 1987, where they banned, there's a global ban on chlorinated fluorocarbons. So we're not supposed to have them anymore, but they still are affecting the planet. Hydropower, that's a big one, but there's a lot of problems that come with hydropower too, particularly with natural ecosystem issues. Nuclear power worldwide, as you can see globally, it's a big one, but it just takes one Chernobyl or one Fukushima to Fukushima everything up, right? So we probably want to think about that one, or at least get more efficient at how we manage that. Look at where China's one-child policy is. That's ranked pretty highly up there, and that's at least in people's opinion about how these, how we think these affect the greenhouse gas output. So this could be a dramatic change in the future for China, where it accelerates that CO2 production at an even higher rate. All right, so 87, entered into force in 89, they enacted it, they distributed it or defended on 87, entered it into enforcement in 89, an international treaty to get rid of CFCs. What's that? Yeah, for now, just understand it's CFCs, chlorinated. We will, I think it's how it's called. Fluorocarbons. And we will spend some time with it in air quality on the next test series. So CFCs are found in old refrigerators, so freons of type of chlorinated fluorocarbon. Used to be like hairspray, everything that came out. I always call them bug propellant. Almost every propellant that was put in metal cans for whatever you would use, spray paint, window cleaner, whatever, was packed with chlorinated fluorocarbons. So when you spray it, the CFCs go into the air. So this one's kind of interesting. These are some policies and things that we think could be important down the road. And I don't know what all these are, honestly, but for this one here, in 2020, rainforest preservation is a big one. So what some people thought. And some economic policies in China that would be more environmentally friendly. Improving U.S. vehicle standards.
Now I can read it.
Who really knows? Yeah. There's a lot of things we can do and should be doing, particularly in the U.S. Transportation efficiency is pouring. Just that leak, I mean. You live here in Big Rapids, so you know, and you don't have a car, you're kind of stuck here. It's not like you can hop on a bus and go, pretty easy. Live in the city, of course, that's a whole different game, at least in the United States, but we don't have connection between our cities. Building efficiency of electrical production is huge. Because a lot of our power generation in the United States is coal-fired, but the last, it started with the Clinton administration and has continued on, and there's basically been a war on coal, and there have been no new coal-fired, very few coal-fired power plants. And since the Obama administration, I don't think there's been any new coal-fired power plants. And it just so happens that we have the most abundant supply of coal in the world in the United States. We could burn coal for anything we want, for probably several generations. If we use coal in everything we did, we could probably run several generations in that without people. But we also be messing up our environment pretty good. We have a lot of coal, so and we burned a lot of electricity. So working the bridge fuels, changing it from one to another. This carbon capture and storage, there's some theoretical designs where we can start with these companies or these industries that are producing a lot of CO2 to capture that CO2 output and re-inject it back in the earth. I don't think we fully understand that carbon cycle yet. Using the buffalo prairie example, the presence of grazing animals on prairie soil, one, improves the soil, two, actually functions as a carbon sink, which we didn't think to be the case just a few years ago. And the only thing we really learned from this is that we don't fully understand the carbon cycle. So this area, it's a great idea, but I think we're a ways away from understanding the mechanisms yet. So it's actually, if you're interested in that from a science standpoint, it'd be a great area that you could be one of those people that could potentially make a lot of money if you figured out a viable strategy. So renewable energy is good, biofuels in there. I don't think that's all that renewable. When I first did this lecture, that was still kind of more promising, but biofuels that have been in operation, biofuel operations that have been working for a while, now we're having to deal with some of these contaminants as a result. I'm going to talk about one United States incentive, and it's how air quality is actually managed amongst power plants. You ever heard of cap and trade? It was kind of popular in the news, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. So power plants, especially coal-fired power plants and natural gas power plants, they all have what are called emissions standards. And they have to measure the smoke or the export of waste product from burning a fuel to generate steam to turn a turbine. They have to estimate how much volume of waste products they're spewing out from burning fossil fuels. And they get a permit that says you can burn X amount of volume of waste. And it's usually sulfur oxides, nitrogen oxides, lots of CO2 and carbon monoxide. And there's a permitted allowable amount by the US EPA to spew out of the smokestack in the United States. The cap and trade program was an incentive program, is an incentive program that's designed to get power plants to clean up their stacks, clean up the discharge. So you get a permitted amount, you can only produce so much volume. If you can clean up your smoke from the generation, you have space in the allowable amount of permit where you can actually produce up to a certain volume without being fined or charged extra. Well, if you clean up your smoke and you keep your permit the same, you now have space in your permit to pollute up to that permitted amount. Does that make sense? So if you operate business as usual, you produce 100 million metric tons of carbon dioxide. Well, that's what your permit allows. You spend a couple million, 3 or 4 million, 5 million, clean up your smoke process from generating electricity. Now, instead of 100 million, you're producing 75 million metric tons. Now you have a 25 million metric ton cap space. So you've spent money to clean up your smoke, and now you can take that cap space, that 25 million, because you're not going to produce that extra 25 million anymore. You have a cleaner process. Now you can sell that cap space to another power plant that's not in compliance. And so now you're selling your electricity and you're paying for the upgrades to your smoke by selling your cap space, that extra 25 million metric tons, to another plant that can't comply, or doesn't want it. So it's a financial incentive to get power plants to make money. It only works until all the power plants have done it, right? Does that make sense? It's called cap and trade. Trade is where you trade the cap space when you cleaned up your smoke. So can we regulate global warming away? The Kyoto Protocol was the predecessor by, 10 or 15 years to the Paris Accord. And the Kyoto Protocol, the US did not adhere to it, and China did not adhere to it. A lot of countries didn't adhere to it, but it was sort of a PR, drag a few countries through the mud, because they didn't jump on the bandwagon. Again, these accords are tricky because they're dealing with economies, global economies. And if it doesn't work for a country, you've got to give them an incentive to make it work. And it's, everybody has to decide.
Why is parties capitalized?
There's nothing that can force, except for war, that can force a country to do that, to adhere to it. Just, it has to be a mutually agreed upon deal. And that's kind of how the Paris Accord was. They had to decide. The U.S. had to agree to fork out all that money to manage carbon output. Once they back out, they back out. So some of these, we have to find a more effective global management of carbon output. So you can see who didn't adopt the Kyoto Protocol in this original run. Mostly European countries and some of them. All right, so that should cover climate change. Question?
What exactly do you know that Europe is doing to be more that?
Oh, with production, they're minimizing production? Yeah. There's a lot of factors.
Oh, now I think okay.
Well, some of their countries have a pretty good population.
Okay.
You can get on a train
Ow.
and go from one side to the other a lot easier than when you get in cars. Right? They latched on to
Realize
power
that's the
way
thing.
before.
Okay.
Solar has just come online recently as being more efficient. There's only
Okay.
solar and wind power is an economy of scale where it's really expensive to enter that until you have a bunch of people and a bunch of companies buying solar and wind power. So back when wind turbines first, they've been around forever, but when they made an initial surge in popularity around the 70s when we had an oil embargo against the US, so gas went up. Giant monster cars, these little tiny Audis for lots of things. That's when people started buying wind turbines and solar power, but it's really inefficient. The wind turbines were great, and you couldn't afford it. Then the second go around that we've had since that one, which has been in the last 10 years, now you've seen wind turbines pop up all over the US. Those are federally supported. So there's incentives, government incentives to make the utilities have a portion of their electrical output be from renewable energy. So what it's done is create a demand for wind turbines and solar arrays, which has driven the cost down, supply and demand, And so now you and I can make decisions about our home, where we can actually, it still costs more than electric company behind your house. You could power your home now on solar and wind very affordably, especially but before the cost was so high to do it. So getting back to why is Europe better than us, I think they've had more progressive strategies for moving people around with inherently use less carbon. They don't have as many cars driving around. They've had probably more acceptance and use of alternative fuels. Our cities are so far apart. That's, we just don't have a good connection. One train line or a long bus ride, you go from here to, you know, if you hop on a bus and you want to go to Detroit from here, you'll be on it all day. You can't stop on a train in a couple hours. Can't get an Uber, like the family's gonna pay for it. Still burning fossil fuels. Oh, hey, now let's wait. I'll warn you, at 4 o'clock, we're doing a quiz. Oh.
You mean 5 o'clock?
At 5 o'clock, we're doing a quiz.
Nah, you said bored.
No quiz.
You should know I lied on that. Well, now you're gonna throw it. All right, so put your farmer's hat back on, get out your shovel. Let's go back to the pivot head irrigation system. I'm gonna kind of rewind to that. We're gonna cover nutrients. So we haven't really fully talked about fertilizers yet. I'm gonna show you a couple of videos of how these things are made.
Oh,
We're talking about soil degradation,
what?
that negative feedback loop. Where you have too much overgrazing and you get compaction, desertification, where you lose native vegetation, you have invasive species coming in, lose productivity.
Okay.
Everybody loses. You have too much farming, intensive farming, you ties in there.
Okay.
What about irrigation? Well, one of the things we talked about,
Right, he did say farming though.
we use a lot of water for irrigation. So most of our water use in the US comes from.
There it is. Excel you.
Listen,
Open.
statistic, irrigated land globally covers more area than all of Mexico and Central America combined. But it's an important, you know, this is, I'm not showing this. But if you use them properly, it's good.
Oh yeah.
So some of the problems, pump too much water, dry up the water table, lower the water table. There are streams in Michigan that I've seen that run dry in the summer because the agricultural sprinklers are so close to the stream, groundwater to the stream, that they just pump more than the stream has away. If you are using it a lot, particularly in arid locations, you can waterlog the soil, you can increase salinity because the evaporation rate is so high that the salts that are naturally occurring in water stay behind in the soil. So you turn it salty just over a period of time from putting water. And then this other piece is like potential warming of surface water, loss of groundwater. Does anyone know what the temperature of groundwater should be?
What?
You will. If you need to know for this test, no, you will need to know.
Well, what was the question? Never mind then, I won't answer it.
You ever watch some of these building off the grid shows and try to do all these ways to heat your home, cool your home? And one of them I've seen, no, it's actually cold. Well, it doesn't kind of. If you did this in Michigan right now, you can heat your home. You were drawing air or water from the ground, and in the summertime, it should be cooler. So in the summertime, you use it to cool your home, and in the wintertime, you use it to heat, which is how a geothermal system is. Yes. Yeah, are you learning about geothermal?
No.
No. Will you learn about
I
geothermal?
don't think so. We might in the bachelor program, but not in the associates.
Well, the mean annual
Mm.
air temperature is what groundwater temperature should be. So in Michigan, the mean annual air temperature is somewhere around 52, 53 degrees Fahrenheit. Yo. And so if you go swimming in a stream or a lake that's really cold, it means there's probably groundwater entering into it in the summertime. When it's normally 80 or 90 degrees out, and you're wondering why is this spot so cold? It's probably because there's groundwater seeping in. And so in the summertime, groundwater feels really cold. In the wintertime,
It's frozen.
that means areas that are seeping groundwater are going to be still
Oh,
at mean annual air temperature.
Sorry.
So it's going to be coming out at 50 degrees and then mixing with really cold water. So oftentimes the areas that receive groundwater inputs in the winter don't freeze. So there's some streams like cold water trout streams in Michigan will not freeze normally if they get enough groundwater input. And most streams are getting about 80% of their water from groundwater. There you go. Yeah, the Baldwin River and Pure Marquette, both. Yep. Not really groundwater. Dominated. Probably closer to 90%. As you move downstream as well. So what does it mean? So you're pulling groundwater out of the ground, putting it on the landscape to water plants and trees and everything else. So that water has an inertia to it, is what I would call it. It helps, because lots of that water, by the way, this was a question in the lab this week. And why was Big Rapids temperature different from global temperature? Right?
It's too cold.
And it has to do with water.
Oh,
And Michigan is surrounded by a lot of water. Right?
true.
Very good state.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
water has what's called a high specific heat. High specific heat means it takes a lot of energy to change the temperature of water. So if you take away water from the ground, put it on the top of the ground, you're taking away the ability of that groundwater to stay cold. Because it has less area to change. So what can happen by removing a substantial amount of groundwater, you can actually warm watershed. Because they need that groundwater to help kind of cool off everything on the landscape. So it can be problematic. Water. So water logging, here's an area over by Muskegon. They take semi-treated wastewater and then sprinkle it on the landscape and then let plants grow there. And these areas always grow. So they could be but that happens. It's the lesser of the evils. So 2012, we were going through a bit of a drought, and people were blaming all kinds of industries, and it prompted the US Geologic Survey to do a study. So they pumped a lot of water out here, 1,500 gallons of water. Well, some of these irrigation systems can pump anywhere from 400 to 1,200 on average. Probably 800 is a normal. 1,500 is kind of the high end of these. So most of those giant pivot head sprinklers you see that look like that are pumping somewhere around 800 gallons.
Oh, really? Okay.
1,500 gallons in 8 hours, 256 minutes. So they did a 13-month study, pumped from 800 to 1,000 gallons. I mentioned there's that drawdown. So you have that cone of depression that extends out from the well, and basically the longer you pump, the bigger and more expansive that cone of depression is. And so, after 1 month of pumping, down your water surface, and then maybe after 3 months of pumping, your water surface can do that. So if you're John Smith next to a farm, and that farm's pumping like a mad dog for 3 months, your well might go dry. Farmer Brown. And it does happen, and that's where we've had problems in Allegheny County with that. We'll know. Oh, sorry. So, most of the water that, and this says typically like 43% of the water reaches plants. Pivot head irrigation systems, just think of them this way, are not 100% efficient. All the water that comes out of that sprinkler head does not go to the farm field. And that can vary. That rate of efficiency can be anywhere from, in this case, we're at 67% loss, it can be as low as 30%. So I think 30 to 40 is probably realistic, but it can be higher. Drip irrigation is fantastic from an efficiency standpoint, but to make drip irrigation work, it requires plumbing in the field after the planting has occurred. And most large-scale crops, particularly row crops, require mechanical management. So you need to drive your big equipment over there. So if you have all this plumbing, these plastic pipes, drip irrigation's out. You can't do it.
Where is that 67%? What happens? How is it based?
Steam, evaporation, and runoff. Yep. Most of it's probably evaporation and runoff. Especially if you think about when we're using sprinklers, it's real hot days. Sometimes it's windy. It's not always that great. That's kind of a worst case. How are these made? So we learned in lab, these are the 3 essential elements for plants, and commercially available is called 12-12, or some variety thereof, where phosphorus might be less, or nitrogen might be more. Just depends on the application. So NPK, how are these made? I haven't followed up on working, but I think nothing unsavory shows up. Oh, to get it to pull it up. I should have checked it before. It should be working. It's not imperative. If they're working. I'll tell you about them. Nitrogen is probably the one more nitrogen. There's a process known as the Haber-Bosch process. And the majority. Probably what I'll do is show you the video of the nitrogen one on Tuesday, because I think that one's worth seeing. There's a Haber-Bosch process in the majority of nitrogen that we use in fertilizer we manufacture. We have to make it, and it's a chemistry-based process that was initially started during World War II.
I should do that.
Anyways, it's a process that we refine. Phosphorus is mined, so we excavate that out of the earth. Florida is one of the areas we get it. Phosphorus, we often get it from old seabeds, or it's a bird waste too. A lot of bird food happens. So areas where there's been some bird colonies that have been thousands of years, they end up mining areas. Old phosphorus and ground. Potassium. We can't make it, we have to mine it. And potassium is, we get most of our potassium from this stuff called potash. You heard of potash? Potash is used in making cement and also used in fertilizer. The way we used to get potash, the way we try to get potash by burning manure and wood products, and then the ash that was left in the pot, that's why it's called potash. We actually mine it, and it's called, it's a murite of potash, what's called. Typically associates as potassium chloride, and potassium chloride is a salt that is typically found thousands of feet below the surface. And most of the global potash now that we get comes from Belarus, Canada. And it's also produced in South America, but the majority of the United States potash that we get from the dictatorship in Belarus or from Canada, kind of where the oil sands are. So the way potash is mined, it can be openly excavated if it's near the surface. Most of the time it's not. It's a salt. So what we do is we use a brine solution. So we pump water down, dissolve the salt, pump the water back up, distill it, and harvest the salt. And in some of our potash producing activities, we actually get table salt, and sodium associated with it too. And then we get this calcium chloride, or this potassium chloride. Michigan actually has one of the only sources of potash left in the United States. Literally 5 miles north of here, in Hershey. The largest, highest quality potash reserve left in the United States. It used to be mined 10, 20 years ago, and the company that was mining it could get their potash easier from Canada. So they stopped mining it here now, just table salt. So there's a new company called Midterms Potash Corporation that is scheduled to break ground this spring. It will be the only North American source of potash that's going to serve all of the Midwest. Right now, we're buying our potash from other countries. In World War II, potash was protected, meaning it was one of those commodities that we held the Federal Reserve because we cannot grow plants without potash. And it's the one thing we can't make. We can make nitrogen, we can find ways to make phosphorus, sort of. It's up to mine if we can efficiently get that. But potash we can't. Alright. So I'll find those videos and crush them up for you, and we'll look at them on Tuesday. So, we've used a lot of fertilizer. We use a lot of fertilizer and pesticides. Pesticides probably require more oil, so to speak, to manufacture them than fertilizers, but fertilizers do require some oil, particularly some nitrogens. Sources of nitrogen are utilized oil sources. But it's this is the other piece of that